All right, Tuesday night back again on the CA podcast. A little departure from our normal fare here. We are going to take a break from the weekly power rankings and all that different fun stuff, and we're actually going to have a live interview with the commissioner of the Coolerphobics Anonymous Fantasy Football League, Andrew Oakes. So we're going to get him on the line here and ask him the tough questions. Andy.
Brad, how's it going?
What up, dude? Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure. I figured it was time to kind of switch things up a little bit. I know you and I had discussed this a little bit at your apartment, but I feel like the weekly power ranking waiver preview mailbag schedule has gotten a little stale, and so I feel like getting back to the roots, doing a little investigative journalism, some interviews would be a nice change.
Sounds good. I don't remember having the conversation. I was a little drunk, but I'm happy to help out, so let's do it.
All right, excellent. Well, yeah, I would expect no less. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I figured you'd be a good guest to have on, the commissioner of the league. So, I don't know. I mean, give me, if you will, a state of the league. Where have we been? Where are we now? Where are we headed? That type of thing.
State of the league. Sure. So I think we've obviously come a long way in the last 5 years since our Yahoo days and no league email, only message board postings. Obviously a lot of changes the last couple of years. Some big things that I really wanted to get past. Both multi-matchup, which we put in last year or 2 years ago, I want to say. And then keepers last year, and then auction dollars this most recent season. Keepers and auction dollar, I think, being critical. I know there's been some talk back and forth on if auction dollars were a good idea. I absolutely think it'll make the league better. I think people need to just give it some time. No one knows how to value them correctly at the time. But going forward, I think it'll only make the league better and actually keep people's interest more in the season. Instead of, I know some people think that people are going to sell out and not pay attention, but I think it makes it a lot more interesting. It makes you have to think a lot more and plan ahead. So it's only good things. In terms of going forward, I don't see any major changes in the next couple of years. Like I said, we've passed a lot to the Winnie Talks the past couple of years. The only big thing I can maybe think of is increasing the multi-matchups even more. We're at 2 now, going even. I know Ben wants to go to a pure breakdown, maybe going to 3 or 4. I'm kind of on the fence. I think I could go either way on that. I think there is something to be said to still having a matchup on the side and watching a Monday Night Football game. So I'm kind of indifferent on if we increase that or not, but that's the only real big thing I can see changing in the short term at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy new rules.
I'm with you there. It makes sense to me. I think that the move to multi-matchups was something that I know I personally was a little opposed to at first, and I feel like most of that was just from ignorance. I didn't really understand what the concept was, and just because it was different from what a majority of other leagues did, I just didn't feel it was right. But I think it's something that's really set our league apart. It's something that, really makes that much of a difference. Like, if you have a 1-on-1 weekend, you're still in it, and if that one loss is just because you run into some high-scoring team and it's bad luck, that's sort of why we installed it in the beginning. So I think that was a good move. I think taking it a step further, I don't know what to say, because I just kind of, said that maybe it was a little ignorant, and I just didn't know what it would be like. I feel like doing like 4 teams a week or 8 teams a week or doing a pure roto or whatever, I don't know if that's the right step, but I don't know. It's an interesting thought. As far as, let me take you back for a second. You touched on auction dollars, how auction dollars has kind of changed things this year. How do you feel that sort of changed the league dynamic? I sort of feel that some of the email arguments, some of the trade talks this year took on kind of a new face, because of this added elements. What was your take on that?
Well, outside of the whole fiasco at the trade deadline, which again I'll take the blame for.
Don't you love though? Don't you love how those 2 running backs are worthless now?
Oh, it's great. It's amazing.
I love that.
True justice. I personally think it made the trade deadline that much more fun. I know I was involved with trade talks for 48 hours straight with a number of people, so I know a lot of people had fun with it. We're just constantly wheeling and dealing, which, I don't know, everyone doesn't agree with me, but I think that is the most fun part of the league is trading current season, but you have to think ahead. I just think it makes the league that much more fun and more strategic as well, which I think are both good things. And I really don't think, there's been some pushback on, if you sell out, you're not going to become involved or even set your lineup and things like that. Like, this is such a great league. We're at the point where, everyone is extremely dedicated to this league that even if you have a shit team, that's not really where, in my book, you're still going to set your lineup, get involved in email talks, and go watch the games with your friends on Sunday. So I think that's a non-issue.
Yeah, I hear you. That makes sense to me. You touched on it there briefly as far as selling out, how that was sort of the big issue this year. You yourself was one of the biggest proponents of that strategy. You obviously were the first one to truly sell out. You kind of made a splash on draft night, dropping big money on some big names, and then made an even bigger splash selling those guys to REL, straight up for auction dollars. I mean, do you have any regrets at this point on how you've managed? Do you think the selling out strategy is something that's going to prove to be worthwhile?
I mean, have you seen my record, Brad? I believe I'm second in the league in total points, and on my way next year with $400 and some great keepers.
Oh yeah, little Dougie Martin. That's right. Yeah, how could I forget?
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, yeah. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have sold out. I'd be winning the league right now and have a good chance at taking home the trophy. At the time, my team wasn't performing that well. I think I was either 500 or slightly below it, I believe, actually. Rogers wasn't playing that well yet. I still was top-heavy with 4 good guys. I thought if one of them got hurt, then my season was really over. So I took a chance and decided to play for next year. It turns out probably should have done it, but, at the same time, still doing fairly well this year, somehow with mechanical weakened combo. And I'm in a great position next year. So, I mean, that's what's fun about it. No one knows if this decision's going to be good or not. You have to look at the odds, make a decision, and go with it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Well, give me some. Obviously, this is non-binding, and I mean, I do this every week. Come up with some inane prediction that no one will A, remember, or B, hold me to. But give me some kind of prediction. How do you think the season's going to go? I don't know, division winners, playoff winners. Like, what do you think?
I'm thinking. All right. Well, division by division. I think you're going to win, Wayne Bryant.
But how's that possible? I mean, you're 10-8, and you have more total points than I do.
Yeah. As much as I'd like my team to keep it up, and little Dougie Martin, my man, to put up 55 every week, I'll be realistic. I'll give you a crazy one at the end, though. So I think you're going to win, Wayne Bryant. I see Ariel winning Schindler's. And then Billy taking Shamer Sherwood.
Oh.
And then crazy prediction, Plotsker comes back, wins wild card on total points as Vic takes off second half of the year.
So you see Vic I take it you did not watch Monday Night Football last night because he was absolutely terrible. You think he's just going to turn around like that?
I did not watch.
He really just, did the same thing he was doing every year, or every game, I should say, this year. I mean, just loving throwing those red zone interceptions and just taking massive hits. So I don't know. That is pretty ballsy. I'm sure Jason is probably happy to hear it. It would take a serious turnaround at this point with it looks like 4 weeks left in the regular season. He would probably have to go 8-0 or 7-1 to make that happen. But I suppose anything's possible.
We'll see. Did you see the article he posted on the homepage? Which, by the way, it pisses me off if they don't send out an email. I just randomly saw that, the 2 fat ladies hitting each other.
I did not. I have not seen that. There you go. We need an email.
Yeah. Everyone should go check out the homepage. Plotsker wrote a pretty great article on there. And it also talks about how highly rated I am, so you should check it out for that reason.
I don't even, how you can custom, set up your homepage? I think I deleted that because we had that same Sir Clownington article up there for, 18 months.
Gotcha. You probably didn't see Ben's obnoxious article then.
No, I did not. The only thing I still have up there is the poll that makes me laugh every time I see one of the entries is munch Ted's wife's box for 20 minutes. That always cracks me up. I don't even remember what that was from, but I see it every day. Speaking of clowns, speaking of what a penalty might be for the league. I mean, as it stands right now, Justin is in last place. He might be the clown. How successful do you think a clown night in Champaign would be?
So I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Looking like probably going to happen. I think it'll go extremely well or extremely poorly.
No gray
I
area.
think we'll go down. I'm leaning towards well. I think we'll go down there. It'll be cheap as shit. We can go to a bunch of bars. Someone will probably inevitably hook up with a 19-year-old or get arrested. Both of those would have Plotsker as the lead vote getter, I think.
Well, he'd be celebrating his wild card championship. How could he not?
Exactly. Or it would just be really awkward. We'd look really stupid and dumb, more so than normal on Clown Night. So I don't know. I think it'd be hit or miss, but I'm leaning towards hits. I think it'd be worth it.
It's probably worth a shot.
We should probably go sooner than later. 5 years might be a little creepy. So I say we get out of the way now and at least try it once.
Yeah, it's probably worth a shot. I mean, last year Milwaukee was definitely an experience. Obviously it was the Milwaukee bar scene is a little bit more forgiving than perhaps a college bar scene might be, just because you know how it is at college, where you see the same people at the bar every night, and when some really weird shit happens, some frat boys might take it the wrong way. So I understand what you're saying. I think it's probably worth a shot. I mean, obviously, Justin needs to keep up his end of the deal and continue to tank this season and finish in last. Otherwise, we'll have our options open as far as Broad Ripple is concerned, and some other areas of the Midwest.
Sounds good. A nasty nap would be a good option.
Yeah, exactly. Well, interesting email came out today from Brian Deutsch. He did point out, what appears to be, I don't want to call it a loophole, but it is, an interesting quirk in the rules, that you can actually finish, in last place and be the clown by our definition, but also, finish with that wild card spot. So I don't know, how likely do you think that is? And then how do you think he would fare? How do you think the playoff clown would fare?
Well, first off, I think it's extremely unlikely. I think while it is possible, obviously, in 100 years of the league, I don't think it would ever actually happen. So we can discuss with the Weenie Talks closing that loophole, but I think it's a non-issue. But it would be hilarious. So theoretically, yeah, he could sneak into the playoffs, end up winning the league. I think his name, I didn't even think about this. So he could win the league, and the trophy winner goes to the playoff winner. So you could technically be the clown and the trophy and the league winner have both your names on the trophy.
That's true. It's very true. Yeah, that's right. We don't put regular season champ on the trophy. So that would be in Major League Soccer, when you win the MLS Cup and when you win the U.S. Open, they call it the double, and it's something to be proud of. The fans go crazy. I think to win the Cooler Phobics Anonymous double and end up being clown and playoff champ in the same year, that would truly be an accomplishment, worth being proud of.
Agreed. I think I might even look into a way to do this, like stack up your team and bench your players every other week or something. Try to get high points. It could be done. We'll look at that. Yeah,
it could definitely be done. All right. Well, we're into the thick of things, as I just mentioned. There's just about 4 weeks left in the regular season, and then we've got our playoffs. I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at your team at all for this upcoming week. You do have games against Bootsy and against Plotsker. I guess obviously you were picking Plotsker's Revolution to be televised starting this week. So I don't know, had you had a chance to break down your matchups? How do you think you look for this upcoming weekend?
All I know is I looked briefly today, and I think Whedon is on a bye. My other crappy players, I think I have some byes. The Green Bay receiving core has a bye, which, by the way, is very underrated and really winning me a lot of these games. Randall Cobb and James Jones. So I think like 3 or 4 players on my team have a bye. So no, I expect to go 0-2. It's not a good week.
Yeah, but you got your boy Tannehill and you got little Dougie Martin. What else do you need? Doug Martin.
Dougie Martin will do. Little Dougie Martin will do his thing.
I would say this week he's good for no less than 70 fantasy points.
I concur. All right. So rethinking this, I'll go 2-0. Right.
There it is. There you go. All right. Well, so one of your crazy predictions of Plotsker winning the wild card takes a hit, but your other crazy prediction of you going 2-0 with Brandon Whedon on a bye is still intact. So, all right. Well, we'll wrap things up here, Oaks. Full transparency. We'll share with everyone that I gave you a slight preview on some of the questions. That's why I just want to make sure the interview flowed. But at this point, we're going off script. We're going off book. we're going to do a little lightning round word association. So you've definitely had no preview of any of this, and we'll just kind of get into it. And we'll feel free to shout out a one word or a phrase, or just kind of the first thing that comes to mind.
Let's get weird.
All right, let's do it. All right, first up, Doug Martin.
My man.
There you go. Ryan Tannehill.
Joe Montana.
That's good stuff. Smith's roommate, Paul Burke.
10K in a day.
Bears defense.
Fucking awesome.
John Krause.
Cuba.
Your boy, Cam Newton. Scam Newton. Jason Plosker.
Second highest rated player in the league.
Joe's on Weed Street.
Got to go to a bunch of IU games there this year. A lot of hot girls.
There you go. All right, and lastly, to close it out, the departed Ted Rifkin.
Oswego. I don't know.
Oswego, yeah, that's right. We didn't discuss that earlier when we were talking about doing Clown Night in Champaign. I think we already know the answer. We'll take whoever the clown is out to Oswego and just go door to door and look for Ted and his wife.
By the way, Ben's idea of going out there, while I got a lot of shit, I didn't think it was actually that bad. So that could be kind of fun for a Sunday.
I mean, there's got to be at least one bar and there's got to be at least one Denny's in Oswego. And chances are we'll probably find Rifkin there. Kill two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
All right, Andy. Well, we'll wrap it up. I'll let you go, but definitely appreciate you taking some time. Obviously appreciate all the hard work you do as the commish for the league. It's a thankless job, so thanks for a good season so far, and we'll look forward to seeing you down the stretch. And then obviously next year in the draft, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I look forward to it. Thanks a lot for having me, Brad, and go Gary Johnson.
All right, you got it, Andy. Thanks. Well, there you have it, Andrew Oakes, the commissioner of the league. That was sort of our first long-form interview in the history of the CA podcast. I know we had done a couple of quick hitters in the past. I thought it was a little bit more interesting to get an outside perspective, different as it may be. So thank you, Oakes, for coming on. I got a couple of mailbag questions that we're going to have to delay until next week, but that's it. Go get them. Good luck this weekend.